Ready to go live?
Yes.
Going live. Hey, we're live.
Oh,
Thought I should let you know.
hello.
Hello. How you doing today?
Yeah, just some real life stuff. Cooking, cleaning. Um, it's sort of the most real kind of procrastination because it has to be done too.
Yeah, I know.
I've
I gotta do
object.
some stuff around here and I haven't had time.
It's like I have objectives to do today, and it's already now going to be 11 when this finishes, and I haven't done any of them because I had to do real life stuff. It's like, oh, sweet. And meetings, man. Meetings take up time,
Yeah.
but you got to do the things.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well.
But yeah, I'm excited to talk about this with you. Clear it up for those that don't know, Stuart. Is Prodigy cancelled?
Kinda. But season 2 is done pretty much. They're in post-production. So they're shopping around for a network to show it. And we will see season 2. It's another 20 episodes. So we're going to talk today about things we'd like to see in those 20 episodes, or if they get picked up by somebody that wants to make more. So yeah, it's just a lot of things we'd like to see. But yes, it has been canceled, but it is shopping around for season 2, so it will be shown somewhere. I'm sure somebody will pick it up and hopefully renew it for more seasons. So
And of course, yeah, we're asking what do we want to see in a season that's already made. In terms of they're not going to change
yes.
the creative direction now, especially with the writer's strike, etc. That might affect them. I don't know. The season 2 vision is there. So we're doing as we always do, a guess on what that'll be. Maybe some season 3 teasers. I know they've got things they'd like to do. You don't. I know it's a 2-season arc, but you always have a potential for more. I mean, I'm sure everyone that makes Trek thinks it'll be at least sort of 7-season, 7-year.
Yeah.
Well, they took more years to make the seasons than normal because of the. But many seasons. It's kind of weird to only give it 2, etc. So I'm sure there's more ideas in the pipeline. And obviously, any good filmmaker, puts in thematic threads early, like their Borg cube. They rewoke the Borg. That's a plot thread. Like there's things they've expound upon very easily. So because as you know, I'm pushing for a 3rd season, not just getting a 2nd season out. That is my personal goal.
So hashtag save Star Trek Prodigy. Share it on the social medias.
Yes.
Get the amplify that signal a bit and get it noticed, because we want to help save it. So
yeah, it's important. At least to me.
Yeah.
You know.
Don Ranger Power says, I want to see Voyager A and Captain Worf and/or Admiral Jean-Luc Picard, and more of the Enterprise E as well. Maybe the Enterprise E comes in to save Janeway and the kids, and that's what happens to the Enterprise E. That'd be a nice little.
Yeah, I mean the shows don't communicate, so who knows?
Yeah.
No, for sure, that's a distinct possibility. I mean, they've got an E model.
Yeah, they do.
They could do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, those things. So I'm going to start sharing the fleet video, because the fleet is very important, Stuart. We have more ships in the buffer if you want to join us. Captain, I'll let you lead the charge. 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys, here is our fleet. I'm recruiting you. Trekyards wants you to join the Trekyards fleet. Hit that join button, look at the options for a membership. You get a rank, you get a ship assigned to you, you get your name in the credits of our videos, and you can be part of the channel in a big way. So help us out any way you can, or head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. All the same ranks and tiers apply over there. And again, you can see a lot of beautiful flybys here done by Samuel, some really great ships. We have more in the buffer, as he said, including the Strange New World stuff. Getting your own ship, you can get your own ship and be a captain of it by becoming a captain. You get a random ship assigned to you. But then if you become an admiral, you get a hero ship. So you can get like an Enterprise or something really cool. Admirals also have the opportunity to be in charge of space docks or like space stations or star bases as well. So some really cool, fun stuff there. If you want to look at the options to join, we'd really appreciate that. and hopefully you guys do as well. As you can see, there is a protostar in the opening as well, which is awesome. So we do have a lot of really cool stuff and ships for you guys to be serving on or be captain of, and have your name on the dedication plaque for each episode. So consider joining the channel. Also, hit that like button. It's one of the easiest ways to help us out. It is free. It is very easy. Just tap the like button, and it really helps us out in the algorithm, so please do so. And also, don't forget to super chat. We want to hear your thoughts as well on to what you guys want this season, this upcoming season of Prodigy, or anything in the future that they do with Prodigy. Any ideas you have? You've seen season 1. You know what they can do. So by all means, let us know via super chat. We do read them all on the air. They all help out the channel, and they really help support what we do here. So if you can, please do so. We'd really appreciate it. You do get recognition. We say your name. We read the comments. You can have me say pretty much anything. Have me sing a song. Mark Lawrence had me sing a song yesterday. So by all means, consider doing that and helping us out in those ways, as it's really something that we need to help the channel grow. So do that as well. Also, there are links down below to the Teespring and the TeePublic store. Lots of great Trekyards merch. So check those out as well. Let's check out some cool shirts. We got a lot of great pinups and stuff from very talented artists. And we look forward to seeing those at conventions and stuff when we go. So pick up some Trekyards swag, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it as much as we enjoyed making it. So anyway, I'm just waiting for Samuel now to get back from sharing this, and we will get underway, as they say. So yeah, look at all your options. Oh, and also make sure you're subscribed. 35% of the people that watch our videos are not subscribed to the channel, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that subscribe button isn't red. If it's red, you're not subscribed, so hit it. And then also hit the bell notification icon and change that to all, so you get notified every time we do any edited uploads, or anytime we do lives like this where you guys can tune in and we get to chat with you guys in real time. We really appreciate all that stuff, and we've got a great community here, so we want to grow it. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and so you don't miss any of the content, because we do a lot of great content, and we're doing this for almost 9 years now, so there's lots of backup content as well. So you can go back and watch one of those old videos and put a super thanks on it if you want, because the old videos are just as good, if not more cringy. I mean, we try to make every video cringy, but the old ones are cringy in a different way.
There are many jokes and many eras of many styles, of many glory to your houses and Kailesh's and Ferengi or voice, and the spectrum of things, Stuart, we've done on this channel. Goodness gracious me.
There's a lot of comedy bronze. I was going to say comedy gold.
Thank you for changing. Yep.
Yeah, it's mostly on the bronze level there, or below. So anyway, tarnished silver.
I'm just going to make a poll, but yes, we can get season 2 out.
Yeah.
Get season 3 made. This show is worth it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Matthew DeFriedis says, is there any way to get transferred off the Columbia? What rank are you, Matthew? If you're a lower rank than captain, you can become a captain and get a ship of your own that you stay on the entire time. So consider maybe upgrading the membership to captain if you're not already a captain. If you are a captain and you want another ship, let us know. We'll see what we can do in that regard. It's kind of easy to shuffle for us if we need to. But yeah, as an officer, or like as an enlisted, or like one of the lower ranks, you get sent where you're sent. You can make requests, but doesn't mean the top brass, meaning us, is going to necessarily listen to it. It's kind of a random thing anyway. So I don't know what's wrong with the Columbia, but anyway, let us know what rank you are, Matthew, and maybe we'll see what we can do.
All right, new poll.
New poll is up. When season 2 eventually comes out, what are you most excited to see? Voyager A, Captain Chakotay, other legacy characters, or more of the Prodigy Kids crew?
Yeah. So okay.
Good choices there.
Thank you. So first question, when I pitched this, what was the first thing that came to your mind? The instant reaction, Neri version of this question. What do you want in season 2?
Time travel story involving and rescuing of Chakotay. I want Chakotay to be basically rescued and wrapped up and be part of the crew maybe by the 10th episode, and then have the last half of the season including him. That's kind of what I'm looking for. When I posted this on Facebook about this live, a friend of mine chimes in and says, anything but time travel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry to disappoint you there, son, but they ended the season 1 by saying his signal came from 52 years in the future. So you're going to get time travel. It's just a thing.
Technically, it's now alternate universe.
Yes.
Travel with a bit of time.
Yep. So
yes, I saw
that's
that
what
comment.
I'm looking forward to.
I thought the comment was a bit funny because that's the entire premise of the show.
Yeah.
That is the thing of the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you actually just want to see the A plot be finished.
Yes.
Which says how exciting the A plot is, because I could have given you anything, right? And you went A plot.
Yeah. The other thing is seeing the Voyager A. I mean, I don't know if the whole thing's going to take place on the Voyager A. They got the new Protostar class. You'd think they'd want to continue with that ship, so I'm not sure how that's going to pan out, considering the kids are under Janeway's tutelage. Yeah. But at least see it.
Yeah, it's funny how the paradigm shifted. Now we've got 3 ships to follow. Voyager A, which not a stretch to imagine that'll be the new hero ship. But the Protostar, of course, is the ship that we've been following for years now. But also Dauntless with Gwen on, so there's a multiple ships to follow as hero ships. Now, cool. We've all been set up in a way that if we want to jump to Gwen, we know what ship she's on. It all makes sense, right? Fantastic. But it's interesting to think about that many ships, or as we had in Lower Decks, will Gwen get to the Varnacut homeworld, get to Solom in the first episode, and finish that storyline in the second episode, and then come back? But a bit anticlimactic, really. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, her goal now. Gwen's goal is to go to her planet, Solom, and she knows where it is roughly. Find it and convince her people to be accepting of the outside before first contact is made. So she said if somebody like one of them would do it, it might be easier on them because there's still 52 years before however many years before things kind of go wrong.
Yeah, it's 52 until the Protostar comes in, and that's when they go back. Yeah. But it gets messed up before that. But more, years, plenty of years. Yeah. But they have not been clear as to if first contact's happened yet.
No, they haven't.
The implication is that they were going to go back, turn on the construct, which would then have Starfleet recall that ship because there's been a giant disaster in the Alpha Quadrant, come back home. That was an impetus, right? We're not going to explore if we've just lost 3/4 of the fleet. But we know that ship was already out there and doing its thing. Yeah, so the A plot. But that's the thing. It could be so easy or so convoluted. Because in theory, a Voyager A is quite advanced. Go through a time portal. They've got scans of Varnacut ships in theory. If the shuttle has any downloads, they go in and just shoot some and then pick them up and go home. I don't necessarily want to see. I don't want to see 5 episodes doing a ground war on Solom. No offense to DS9, but I wasn't thoroughly engaged with Kira in Garrick's mum's basement for 4 episodes. You know what I mean? It's like, it's okay. Because they couldn't realise the ambition of a ground war. And we already know that the Dreadnoks are phaser-proof, so there's not really much you can do.
Good point. I mean,
that's what I mean. Like, that could be a quick story or a clever story, or I don't know.
I'm looking forward to seeing more of Chakotay's crew as well, like his first officer, Aurelian. That he's very dynamic-looking, character. I'd love to see more of that and see maybe some flashbacks as to exactly what happened in regards to the Protostar actually being kind of put underground, as it were. So.
Oh, I mean, they hired some known voice actors to play all the sub roles, and yet how many of them had time?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Jason Alexander was the Tellarite engineer on the Dauntless. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's that classic guy that did. Yeah. What's the name? The small guys in Seinfeld. I know him from other things, but he was in Think Tank. Like,
Yeah, Jason Alexander.
yeah, sorry, yeah. Like, he's in it a little bit, but he was a part of the original crew, so you would think that they would do something in flashbacks, because it would be... Because there's still that initial... Even rescuing him, there's still a mystery of what happened to Prostar to start with. Hopefully it's not as disappointingly simple as just, look, a hole in space, let's all go towards it. Oh no, gravity, ah! Okay. That was unimpressive, you know?
Well, Stephen W. Fathry throws in $2. Good to see you, Stephen.
Excellent.
Any guess as to what class the Voyager A will be? Could be any class. The Voyager B was a Pathfinder class, I believe, in Picard, the picture we got of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the Voyager A would be necessarily.
New.
Good question.
New class.
Yeah.
would be my guess. You know, if they're having, you know, Dauntless is ostensibly a new class-ish. Prostar's a new class. I doubt they'd reuse anything. But everything's based on everything else, so I'm sure it would be Prometheus-esque, Sovereign-esque. But new. Especially since when they designed it, they were sure Eagle Moss would still be making miniatures.
Oh, yes. That's depressing.
Oh, I really hope, though, it's a ship that we can all get behind and love. Because it's going to be a really big deal.
Well,
and if it's not great, we're going to spend a lot of time in it.
Look at the Cerritos. I mean, when it first came out, opinions were divided on that. A lot of people grew to love it. A lot of people still absolutely hate it. But I was kind of on it to begin with.
I was more.
Yeah. At least it's not the Dauntless. That I can't get behind. I'm sorry. I'll never like that design.
Great. Patrick, Neo Intrepid.
Yes. Neo Intrepid Class 2.
2, yeah. It looks like the NX era Intrepid. Yeah, like the classic one. It's like same size and everything, or same windows, just bigger. It's like, all right, okay. That's great, Patrick. Good job. No, yeah, for sure. But a ship we're allowed to disregard because it's stupid. The Cerritos versus the legacy of the Voyager.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But it doesn't last long, we know that, or it goes missing because eventually there's the B, which is shown in Picard. If these timelines link up at all, there's got to be some explanation for that as well. So it's not that far. It's not that far away.
Yeah, it's like 13 years.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, the B to C, the A to, I mean, you know, it's about an Enterprise length, an average Enterprise. You know, D to E was 7. E to F was, what, 15? 18? You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know.
No, it's more often close to Nemesis. The B and the C are the weird ones, because, of course, those are pause. and between C and D.
C and D is the biggest gap, I think. Yeah.
So it's hard to kind of judge how long Enterprise should live for if there's a gap, they don't build a new one. But I felt like 20 years for a hero-esque ship is okay, as long as it's not everyone dies aboard, as long as they make it off. You know, like, would you expect one captain to be captain for 15 years? Probably not.
That would be like the maximum, I would think.
That's complacency level of being captain.
Well, welcome to Will Riker. He's still a captain in Picard. He was a commander for how many years? Turned down how many promotions? I'm sure they're like, hey, you want to be an admiral? Nope. Want to be an admiral? Nope. Okay.
Well, he retired because his son was dying, or to help him. So you know, he half retired. So there's that reason.
I know.
Yeah, he's probably captain.
I've been a captain for almost 9 years now, on Trekyards.
And you've rejected how many promotions?
I don't reject the admirals. You know, come hither looks. Oh, wait a minute. What?
When she offers you something, you accept, just not promotion. It's a bonotion.
Yeah, something like that.
But no, the A plot. I'm pretty certain they'll finish the entire Chakotay, Volnacot planet storyline by the end of the next 20, because you don't write a giant 40-episode arc and leave it hanging in a way that's, that will be solved. Doesn't mean you can't bring someone back in and cause a spanner in the works, but I'm pretty sure that the main story will be concluded at the end of 40, because even if they got a third season order, it wouldn't be necessarily even 20, right? So let's give it the time we know it needs and has. But then once we move on from Sol and we've got all these characters we can utilize, say bring Torres back, maybe the Torres storyline, and there's things you can do post it, obviously. Because 20 episodes is a long time to solve the story. I mean, they meandered a good amount from the main story. I mean, Trekyards only in like 3 episodes. And by I think we're stretching the word in.
He's got maybe like in all those appearances, maybe 4 minutes of dialogue, if that.
Oh, if that, yeah. And one episode's just the same line repeated again and again because they're watching a log.
Yeah. Mark Lawrence asked, so did they only ever make 4 Prodigy figures? There's actually 5, because Murph comes with the Dal figure. So there's Murph and Dal, Zero, Jankenpog, and Gwen. They don't have a Rock Talk figure yet, so. But yeah, Murph comes with Dal, so that's kind of like a 2-pack.
Yeah. Still don't know why I didn't make the plushies.
Well, they also had a Janeway on the slate to be released, which apparently is not getting made now.
Although it isn't just Prodigy toys that didn't get their full run, because the Guinan figure, I don't know if you saw that, the Guinan figure from some random company got
Super
cancelled.
7.
Yeah. But I barely remember hearing about it. Like I remember it was announced, and there was vague excitement because like, oh, she doesn't get many figures. Cool.
I was gonna pre-order it with like the Worf and the Picard that they had. They had a pack of all of them. I thought about getting it, but I didn't know it got canceled. That's the first time hearing about that.
Yeah, because lack of interest. And they fully just came and said just lack of interest.
Oh Jesus.
I mean, it's a side character, and obviously you have a certain amount you need to get to make things viable. I get it.
Yeah.
The builds are still happening, but it's weird. So, with XO6 being so high end, it did seem odd to release similar size, similar but way more plasticky looking figures.
Yeah, the Prodigy figures, from what I've seen, don't look fantastic, but
The Prodigy ones.
Yeah.
Well, they're toys. They're actually like the vibe is toys. So a bad thing, just. Although, I'm looking at Gwen. Well, she's okay. Okay, so I can get them in the UK. I was wondering if you could even get them.
Yeah.
But it's sad, because if the Pro Star had been out, I'd have got that already.
Oh, yeah.
Just,
And Aaron had said that it was good to go. They were going to be releasing it. And so it's like, please? I would love to. We're kind of lacking in new ships right now.
They just announced the giant thing. The giant ships.
Thing. The giant ships.
Yeah, the Donnie from Stowe. He's working on the project. There's an Excelsior fully lighted metal kit or something, as in resin actually. Enterprise refit Galaxy. I don't think 350, but big. I assume they're going to be $400 or $500 each, if not more. But they're nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I didn't read the article because I'm just doing this, but so we've got those. It's not exactly a replacement from Eagle Moss though, when they're giant and they're going to be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But they're fully lighted, fully finished kits. So, yay.
Yeah. They're not toys; they're action figures. Yes, Ozzy.
Yeah.
A lot of people are suspecting that they're going to be picking up season 2 of Prodigy because the Hagermans have some other shows on Netflix, and I'd be fine with that. I think Netflix does a pretty good job with stuff as a whole. So.
Of course, the issue being Netflix cancels at 3.
But yeah, if like I said, going into this, I think season 2 of Prodigy is going to end on a cliffhanger as well. So even if they do pick it up and make one more season, and that's the deal, just one more, they just have a season to wrap things up. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think they'll end pretty strongly at the end of 2, but leave threads for 3.
Yeah.
And then
I'm just expecting a big cliffhanger kind of thing. Because they kind of did that this one with the Chakotay thing. So
yeah, but they had 2-season order, so they were planning into it, which is why it's such a rare show, because they actually planned all 40, give or take.
That's true. That's true too.
It's the only show that's done that. Every other show's had a... I mean, I know Mike planned two ahead for Lower Decks, which is great, but that's pretty darn rare. No, I mean, yeah, Netflix is Netflix and Amazon, obviously the two choices. But the question is Netflix so burned out by Discovery that won't touch Trek with a barge pole, especially as they're taking property with proven a poor track record. So they've got to actively turn it around. It's not just a case of buy and show. They've got to put the money, time, effort in to make it a success, which is on them to do it.
Yeah. Well, if they watch the show and see the quality it is, because it is fantastically done. I don't know, man. I'd want to pick up an Emmy award-winning show that got an Emmy in its first season.
Kate Mulgrew.
Come on. Exactly. Yeah.
No. Yeah. It seems obvious. I mean, it seems obvious to us. We don't know what viewership is. If it was half what they need to sustain it, like bad, then that's a really big risk. But you would also think Paramount would give it away not at cost, but at a very low bargain bin basement number, because they want it to just. But then if they want a tax write-off, they might say, no, well, give us the full value. Make us an offer we can't refuse versus here, take it, please. Because it becomes not a tax write-off.
Yeah. Anyway, we're here to talk about things we like in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I see in your thumbnail you've got Jellicoe, so that's probably a big thing you'd like to see more of.
Well, yeah, just as we said yesterday, the easy usage of old characters that felt seamless. I like Johnny Cox.
No.
Ronnie Cox.
Ronnie Cox.
I mean, classic actor. He's not aged that much, as in, And I mean, you want review characters fine, but you're excited for seeing these really crazy collabs of these characters, Janeway versus Jellicoe, two fiery people in their own right. But then, is there an admiral above him? Is there, are they going to maybe walk into a room of admirals at one point where they have to discuss some grand theme, and they can just hire, Nechayev to come back for a bit, or okay, there isn't that many admirals that are left. I know Ross died, as did Paris, as in real life.
Uh-huh.
Not they all three old admirals, but it'd be kind of nice if they were.
You could get the admiral from Lower Decks, the Freeman's.
That'd be nice. Yeah, and he's obviously the guy from Futurama and everything else. That's a prolific voice actor. That'd be nice, actually. Yeah.
Stephen W. Fathery throws in $5. Thank you so much, Stephen. Netflix would be a good home for the show, but I worry about them dropping all 20 at once, or more likely 10 at a time. It will make it hard to cover. It will. We will manage, though. We will do it one at a time still. But I agree with you 100%.
They did just release Witcher 6 and then 3, so they are, they could be convinced potentially to do 5, 5, and 5, which I think is more likely. I know that one of the Picard lead producers just tweeted today about he thought that them doing it weekly was a huge benefit to them, allowing them to create the intrigue, the discussion. We've both talked to people who had pre-screeners, and so they binged all 5 at a time, and then they go. And then they were saying, one in particular, when they then was watching it live with us, he was surprised by the fan reaction because we were actually absorbing the information of the episodes. We were letting the mystery dwell in our psyche versus getting the answers within an hour or the next day. If you don't dwell, you don't think anything of it, versus all of us that were then talking, discussing, theorising. It's an entirely different way of doing it, and especially if, I said to Aaron, I said to his face, if you release season 1 as a bulk, well, it would have been no momentum when it comes to talking about things, because it would have just been, here's a okay, done.
Yeah, we wouldn't even be able to review it episode by episode because everybody else would have binged it and we'll be getting spoilers in the comments all the time, so when we're speculating about where things are going. So
yeah, it's a weird one to do for sure. And I don't know necessarily if the internet would be a giant spoiler-filled world when it comes to Prodigy. I don't know if necessarily there's all of that let's talk about it vibe.
No, but it would be targeted at us.
That is true.
So, I mean, in our chats, it would be like everywhere.
Oh God, yeah, oh, yeah, you're so right. Did you see the thing from episode 6? No, they all die. Shut up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also it would be hard for the audience to not want to talk to us about it.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
I can't blame them, but also, yeah. Yeah, it's true.
We would almost have to binge it all, do a whole like review on the entire season first, and then go back and break it down episode by episode for our actual reviews. That's, I think, how we'd have to do it.
Yeah, that is Yep.
But anyway, we're looking forward to somebody picking it up. How they release it is kind of up to them, but anyway.
I certainly hope for 5 if they have to get, you know.
Yeah.
I'd vote 5 time.
Another thing that I'd like to see in season 2 is another Voyager alum come back, like somebody like B'Elanna, as we've mentioned a few times. Janeway reaching out to B'Elanna to help get Chakotay, I think, would be awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you had a bunch of legacy people show up in season 1, as we talked about yesterday in our top 10s. It was one of our favorite things that they had legacy characters and the potential for more to come, and not just of the era, but from the past as well. So, yeah, I think B'Elanna showing up would be amazing, as would Kim. I would like to see Captain Kim at some point. Apparently there was discussion to have him in season 3 of Picard, but monetary reasons, not so much. Couldn't happen. So yeah, you could definitely bring Voyager people back. They definitely need more time to shine, I think. And of course, you know, we've seen DS9 and Lower Decks, so you can bring any of those people back as well. Bringing Worf into it is like interesting, but at the same time, it's like we've got our fill of Worf. He's TNG, DS9, Picard. He's like one of the most like on-screen characters of all time as far as Star Trek goes.
Although, of course, the irony being, even Frakes showed up in Resurgence, so of course, him not appearing in Prodigy feels like bucking the giant trend of every single show. Because he was in every show except TOS and Discovery.
Yeah, but he's directed a bunch of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people forget, he was in Voyager, he was in DS9, he was in Enterprise, he was in Lower Decks, he was in Picard, more than once. Yeah. Everywhere, right? He is the guy that's accidentally reappeared everywhere, which is great. Although technically it was Thomas Riker, but
yeah,
for DS9. The biggest reveal in Trek history.
Well, Trilobite says I would like to see Tom Paris as the Voyager A's first officer. Tom Paris as a first officer would be interesting.
Yeah, actually, that would be interesting.
But I mean, what rank is he in Lower Decks when he shows up?
Still Lieutenant Commander.
Let's see.
But this is
one promotion away. After. Yeah, that's true.
And I assume he'd get promoted to be the second in command. No, that's actually a really good shout, actually, because Jeremy can trust him implicitly, but also to tell when she's wrong, to take those risks that she might need, and to do ballsy things to help save her. That's actually a good shout. I mean, Kim would also be good, right? Ironically, or Tuvok, right? Many of them would be great first officers, but Paris is an interesting one. I think Kim would be more satisfying, though, because Captain Kim is too much of that zeitgeist of, you know, let's make him captain, but second in command of Voyager A would be a nice jump for him, and then you can make that pay off in the season 4 or 5, he gets captain, then becomes a, you know, that, I mean, you could put that in your own show, right?
Yeah.
You know? No, definitely.
The other interest... Yeah, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No.
I was going to say, the other interesting thing that could... Voyager person that could show up would be Neelix. Because he left the ship and, you know, was going to do his thing, but he can show up anytime, anywhere, and he'd be great for the kids to interact with.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's kind of a match made in heaven in that regard. So, and I don't have a problem with Neelix like a lot of people do. So, I think that'd be great. But
No, actually, that's super interesting because, of course, the proto drive is
Yeah.
a giant MacGuffin of story. So if they want to just grab him, they can. He was at the edge of where they went to anyway. 2 jumps, they'll get to him. 2 jumps back. Not a problem, right?
Yeah.
That'd be a really nice way of bringing him back. You know, especially with his knowledge of the Delta Quadrant. That'd be great. Because I think they said Valna Cup, the Solon might be in the Delta Quadrant. Yeah, they said that. So maybe they should.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll need to go to Neelix to find information. That's not what people expect, but to suddenly jump to the Talaxian colony, see his kid grown up, see him there as a... Yeah, that's great. That's really nice, actually. I wouldn't have thought of that.
And BioWare Gaming says, what about the Doctor? Yeah, I mean, the Doctor is a hologram. The Janeway they just lost, the Janeway that they got attached to, was herself a hologram program that was growing and adapting, whatever. It'd be great if he was like their psychiatrist, talking to them about the loss of their Janeway and having to be with the new Janeway.
Yeah. Joe the
It's
psychologist.
just an interesting idea to play around with.
Joe the psychologist.
No, his name will be Sigmund. He chose Sigmund. That'd be great.
Sigmund Joe McCoy. All the best doctors. No, I mean, there's certainly something to be said for if the Hagen brothers get that season 3 meeting. Like, we were interested, but how are you going to make this successful, right? Because really, you'd want to start producing 3, winning at season 2, or you wouldn't want an extra year delay, right? You'd even more momentum lost. If I was them, if whatever, you could pitch to this new people. Look what happened with Picard season 3. They did a TNG reunion, brought back the entire cast in an organic way, and it went super zeitgeisty. Yes, we're animated, but if we do a similar trailer showing off the entire Voyager cast back, it'll grab news headlines, right? And 40 episodes of a season, you can better integrate the whole cast. Have a 3-episode Paris arc, have a 3-episode Blana arc, and not feel cheaped out. And I would not need to, in the same way, I wouldn't need to see a bridge shot of all of them on the bridge, because that's not how his characters were. There was a more diverse, they were more around the place. And obviously 7, hey, there you go, 7 as well. Obviously you can utilise her fame from Picard season 3. I mean, that would be the obvious pitch, right? Because then we can... There's the headline, right? Picard season 3 is Robert from Low Deck Prodigy season 3. Like, we're doing the 3. And there's going to be... You guarantee there's going to be one more Legacy Voyager back in season 2. Just of course there would be, right? Just as that fun surprise. There's somebody in some form, right? They're not going to do 40 episodes without one more. 100%, right? And this is what I'd do. But make 3 a reunion season.
Yeah. And definitely look into more of Aaron Woltke's contributions to season 2, because his two episodes were like our favorites of this season. So who knows what he's got in store. And he's very tight-lipped about it. Like, I've tried this. Yeah, what's going on in season 2? And he's like, you'll see.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We actually did ask him after last live to join us for one tomorrow, perhaps talk about season 1. But he is busy, so we tried, guys.
Having a kid and all.
Yeah.
Kids real young. All that attention. Yeah, it's if he was writing, as we said previously, the show's begging for a Voyager flashback. Voyager sets. That would be your excuse to have, introduce B'Elanna in flashbacks, and then you see her later on in the season. Or if you don't want to bring her back yet, then just have it in flashbacks, or see the Doctor, or even Kes, if you want to go really radical, right? I mean, imagine Janeway getting stuck in a mind prison and it's a Voyager, and she has to relive an episode of Voyager, but it doesn't go right, and we get to see the repeating TNG one,
Cause and Effect.
Yeah, but within a dream as well. Could be really fun.
That'd be awesome.
But then you get to integrate as much of that Voyager canon. For example, maybe that Janeway goes to engineering, grabs a phaser rifle, and gets down to a shirt. Like, that's a but structurally it makes sense, but it's a thing, or goes to bridge and does it. There's the elements you could pull in from that very easily. Because if they're giving all the canon love ones, next one logically is the Voyager love.
even just species they ran into, like the Voth would be awesome to bring back. Kids love dinosaurs.
It's true.
Just saying.
Yeah, and their
Or the
fertile
Devore,
ground. Yep.
because we got some telepaths in the group. So
I mean, 8472.
yeah,
You know, we ain't done with them yet. Especially in animation, they could thrive even more. You imagine the morph sequences, which they just did with the Val and the Cart. You imagine them morphing in and out of being a Starfleet officer would look, we sort of saw that already, but go, 20 years more modern. They don't look great in 1990, whatever. No, there'd be obvious ones to do.
and obviously, I think one of the best elements that you could include just for an episode is Q. Imagine Q meeting the kids. There could be some fun to have.
Oh, that's interesting.
Have there and Janeway again running into Q. So I'm just saying.
Or one better, young Q.
Yeah,
He's having to go get sanctuary with Auntie Kathy.
Yeah.
Like that's even more of them, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe he falls for Gwen. Maybe he has to become human and has a crush on Gwen, and then gets Dahl jealous. And now Dahl's fighting Q, young Q.
Punches young Q in the face.
That's great. The thing is, it does.
Janeway could say, I never punched him." Anyway.
And if they had been really smart, they could obviously say, integrate Picard canon, given they're non-temporal beings. There's this guy Jack Crusher. He's a real prick. What? Hi.
You haven't heard his name? Oh, you will. Don't worry.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much synergy you could do.
Yeah.
Right? Just they sort of squander that synergetic potential.
Yeah.
But hey ho.
Well, guys, hit that like button. I want to get 50 likes. That's another 9 likes. Plus, some super chats would be great. We want to hear your thoughts, things that you want us to talk about, theorize on. We brought up a few great examples, but we want to hear what you guys are thinking. So please, super chat. It does help support the channel and keeps us going. And we really want to keep making content for you guys. So help us in any way you can. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, it is a chat show. In essence, we talk to you. You talk to us. We talk to you. You talk to us. And we
That's
go around
how conversations work.
Yeah. Yeah, normally, Stuart. Yeah. Even on live shows.
Yeah. I talk to him all the time. I don't want to hear his opinions all the time. I do, guys, help me out here. Throw in some suggestions so that we have some outside influence. Like, oh, his poor face. I'm so sorry. I love you, Samuel. I talk to you way too much.
Okay, you sort of saved that. Then you doubled down and you saved it again and you...
This is how I work. This is 9 years. We've been together 9 years.
What the twist of my life has been...
The irony? This August the 8th, is my 10-year wedding anniversary to Sylvia. I've known her for like 14 years, but we've been married for 10 this August. So you and me are just behind that. We're coming up to the 9-year anniversary for us in October. So exactly, you've been around as long as Sylvia, at least as long as we've been married. So
yep, and longer than Marie. So
yeah.
Those two personal achievements either side is like, yeah, dearie me. It's been a while. It's been a
long road. Terrence keeps mentioning the Dominion War all the time, so could we have a Dominion War tie-in somehow? I mean,
this is a season 3 thing, but you could bring Vadic back for season 3.
Okay.
Because she exists from Dominion War onwards. Different objectives, not without working for the Borg Queen, just as mercenary Vadic. The ship's not exactly difficult to build. Get the voice actor Bill Leica.
It'd be cool if we could find out how she acquired the Shrike.
See?
Yeah.
Because that she's a bit wacko. And then you get that free Picard connection.
Getting Amanda Palmer back for even a small role would probably be expensive. She's a pretty high up there actor, so.
Is she though? She's not A, B, or C list. She's just a well-known character.
Well, she's been in a ton of stuff, so I don't know.
So is Ronnie Cox. Way more than she has.
That's true too. Yeah.
I mean, it's voice work and it's yeah. I mean, they could definitely afford her, but I feel like she would want to do, you know, because I mean the agents pick a price. Well, obviously, as actors get older, they're less picky because older actors get less stuff. Just the nature of the beast, right? But if it's a good role, yeah, so it's a good Vatic role. Plus, I mean, plus changing villain. That's a fun. They kind of have that with the Vindicator, but not really. But actual changing would be fun. And then they could just replicate a hybrid of the hybrid approach of the goo effect. They could do a more faithful version, but slightly updated, etc. Yes,
Star
Patrick.
Trek Prodigy season 3, episode 1, The Return of Blah.
It's like the Inception Bois, but not quite.
Verpine, though, member for 4 months at the rank of ensign, says we need more ships from aliens in any era. Like, always more ships. I mean, we got to see a Medusan TOS ship in this season 1. I was like, did not expect that, but damn cool.
You would not have put money on that, would you?
No. Never. So, well, I would have expected it if I heard that it was coming, I would have expected it to be altered.
Yes.
Not faithful. So,
and that's fine. A TNG version would be fine, right? It's shocking they didn't refit it. But I like what we said yesterday about the Xindi. That I think is a really nice untapped wealth they could go into. Spore driving, proto warping to the Xindi planet and getting to experience, getting to talk to, because that's the perfect medium to have aquatic, all the different races in one spot, all the same animation style, and fully interact. Right? That would be super obvious, super fun. The new Council of Xindi, and they've got it's wonderful, rich. We've asked where have they been for the last 150 years. That's a story. Maybe they have a unique, or maybe you do the ridiculous and you bring in the avians. It's like
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, in the last 100 years they found a cave and they managed to genetically recombobulate and clone new avians, and there's now like a colony of them on a moon. And it's like, holy shit, we're payoff Enterprise? Huh?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. And they turn out to be baddies, because why not, right? They're evil, like it'd be a Khan allegory, You make them too strong and they're evil. Ooh. Great.
Good shout out for Enterprise, because, I don't know if you've heard, but Manny Koto has passed away. Pancreatic cancer.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah,
that was a thing.
He was young, too. He was only like, 59, something like that? But, yeah, I mean, he was a showrunner for season 4 of Enterprise, in case anybody doesn't know. But,
and of course, the showrunner and also reinventor.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's been really nice.
The good season.
And it's really nice to see how many people have commented online actually at what he did for the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's been really nice. He added to it. He was bonus. He was, it's sort of insulting to the previous seasons, of course, if you say he's the one that made a good show of Enterprise. But I mean, universally, season 4 is the one, right? So it's okay if we all think that, because it's kind of true. Season 3 is great, but 4 is where I think Larry Nemechek said, that's when it reached its potential. It's like, yep.
Yeah.
Just by doing TOS, not TOS. Doing TOS, like having that connective tissue that was just missing.
Three more likes, guys. Yeah, they have the potential to revisit a lot of older Trek stuff and finish off story arcs that were never completed. So,
and it isn't just the revisiting. I mean, neither of us need that per se. We're not stuck in the past, etc. But taking what's there, enhancing, expanding, developing, that's good. That's important. That's clever. It's seeing the in Lower Decks season 3 going back to the TNG season 1 planet was really satisfying and then sad. But it gave a few minutes of screen time, all this weight that it would not have had otherwise. Why? How could it? And seeing that mural is great. It's great.
And Patrick says, bring back Trip Tucker in Prodigy. That would be a very welcome
Yeah.
enterprise payout. I still think it's better he comes back in Strange New Worlds and recruits La'an
Yeah.
for temporal investigations, because he faked
Yeah.
his death to join Section 31. That shifted into temporal investigations. I think that would be beautiful. That's why we don't hear about La'an anytime after that in TOS. Not that we hear about anybody else, really, except Pike and Spock.
Yeah, a couple of caveats and a couple of places. Yeah, it's give them a damn.
So much potential with this show.
Yeah.
That's the problem that we're having. They've already shown what they can do with legacy characters and storylines.
And it seems mean, but more than Lower Decks. Because Lower Decks has the funny slant.
Yeah.
They have their own sort of self-imposed thematic limitations. They might not, like, whereas Prodigy has that the grounding that elevates it, right?
It would also be really cool. Just lost my train of thought there. Goddamn. Oh, the thing that surprises me. I mean, if you showed somebody season 1 of Discovery and season 1 of Prodigy, and you had to guess which show would be canceled and would go on to like 5 seasons, just from skimming through the episodes yesterday again, I can tell you Prodigy is a standout show. It's well written, great story arcs, fantastic character development. It's just everything about it is great. Discovery is it's Discovery. I mean, if I had to pick between the two, I'd say Prodigy would have gone longer. But hey, I don't know, man.
It's also 5,000% cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness.
Exactly.
I mean, easily 3 seasons of Prodigy, if not 4, for the price of 1 for Discovery, including guest actors back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see the budget sheets, though. I'd like to see what each show. Yeah.
Yeah.
And where the money's spent.
Because Prodigy, you feel like it's on the screen.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that's the sad thing about live action. I've been following the Stranger Worlds, the costume lead, and it's tremendous when they post close-ups, because they take every costume, like Stargate did, and give it the detail that's like, that's amazing. But it doesn't... That physical extra bonus doesn't really always add a lot on screen. Like, it's better that it's there than not there, but it just feels like an outfit in a good way. Like, of course it would be this detailed. Prodigy, when they go to an alien world, it's big and broad, and there's this scope that you really feel, versus, well, of course that's a medieval fully dressed costume that they spent weeks doing, and it's detailed beyond belief, like, beautiful. But it doesn't quite have the same on-screen feel, even though it you know, I mean, I'm sure you know what I mean, but it's a strange difference with the effort you need for live action versus animation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. It's more shown on screen in Prodigy, for sure.
Just even though there's actually less on screen, it kind of has
all you see in Discovery is where they put their money is like pyrotechnics on the bridge. Yeah.
Fix those 2 vents! No. Yeah.
Matthew DeFreitas, though, throws in $5.
Matthew!
Thank you so much, Matthew. Only reason Disco survived the way it did was because Netflix bought and paid for the first 2 seasons. Well, I mean, if Netflix is willing to put money on that, hopefully they'll pick up Prodigy and pay for a few more seasons of it. So, yeah.
But one thing Discovery had going for it was hate views.
Yeah.
Hate watching. Prodigy hasn't got that. You know, and how many YouTubers made how many thousands of dollars off hating Discovery? There's a market to be made.
Yeah. And channels to build.
Channels to build. Yeah.
And here we are, chugging along. A little engine that could.
Yeah. Doing it justice, as it were. In a good way. But no, and I will say, back to the topic, season 2, the main characters, all 5? Murph, 5 of them are good. They all have potential. They're kind of the point of the show, is their potential. They're prodigies in their own way, in their own making.
Yep.
seeing them in uniforms, I certainly would like to see them more conventional uniform versus the spandexy ones. I know we got a new uniform at the end of season 1. I was like, that's a thing. But seeing Dahl, who's obviously our main male lead, for him to be in a scenario where he's not the captain, because of course he can't be the captain from then on. We're going to get Janeway, and now he's in a Starfleet program. He won't be put in the captain's chair unless via some fluke incident, whatever. So seeing him actually be in the command path, that sort of thing where he's, it's an entirely different side of the character, it's entirely different, but seeing him grow up, because that's really what it is, seeing him from that twerp of episode 1 into a sort of leader, and then into a Starfleet potential. Yeah. That's a rewarding thing that I would like to see. Him in a normal uniform, maybe at the end of season 2, he's in the standard issue uniform with his first pip, and the hair maybe down a little, gelled down a bit, so a bit more blended in, and he's made it right. That would be really rewarding,
Yeah, yeah. We've already seen a lot of growth in his character, like the characterization and character arcs for him. He was kind of annoying at first, and then yes, he definitely took on more of a leadership role and kind of learned some lessons along the way. I love that, and the fact that they're all kids and are growing. Rock Talk got like a huge boost with the Time Amok, where who knows how long she was actually by herself, but it's implied to be a pretty long time. I want to see these kids grow up. I want to see Murph's next evolution. I want to see his final form. And there's so much potential with the show, and we gotta at least be happy that it's happened, because these characters exist. So anything that happens in the future, these characters can still show up, like their older forms, maybe in live action even. That'd be kind of neat. But it is about the kids and their journey, and I really want to see what happens to them, because they're all pretty awesome characters. Gwen and Dal have done the most growth, I think. Rock Talk's finally figured out what she wants to do. She wants to get into biology, I believe, or I forget what, studying of alien life forms.
Yes.
That was the final episode where it was suggested that you're good with Murph, so you'd be good for that.
Yes.
Murph, of course, the evolution, and then Jake and Pog. Zero is awesome as well. I hate the new suit, though. I don't like the new Starfleet issued suit. Sorry. Look at something out of place. Oblivion. Movie Oblivion. But, nah.
They'll grow on you, right? There'll be something that will grow on you, I'm sure.
Yeah. Eric Martin, though, throws in $10.
Thank you.
I'd like some Jellicoe memes that I could send to people when they are annoying me. There you go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to say something like make a Jello joke, like there's always room for Jellicoe. But I guess not. Or a Jellicoe pop.
Can you imagine some deep cut if Jellicoe flashes back to Enterprise D situation? They could. And once you've got these actors signed on, they don't necessarily care what radical canon things you give them, right? So if you bring on board and say, in episode 16 we're going to give you a flashback to explain how you met your wife, straight off to Enterprise D, and you now do a new scene of you at Space Dock 6 months later, and you meet Riker at a bar, and he's like, oh hey Jellicoe, and he's kind of friendly, and it's have you met my wife? Okay, wow, you could because I actually trust Prodigy to make gentle retcons.
Yes, absolutely.
Lower Deck's fine, but again, silly. Like, everything's a pinch of salt, right? Are there really bobblehead, bubble, bath, datas and laws?
Well, there's only like one lore in that batch. Yeah.
But is that really a thing? Is that what they're telling you? I don't know. I don't know. But Prodigy, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Patrick throws in €11. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad to say Trekyards stands above the channels that made money with hate views on Disco. Love the community we have under your flag. Keep it respectful all the way. Oh, and give me some Barkley.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I do like Dwight. Is that Dwight?
Yeah. Dwight Schultz. Yeah.
But then you've unfortunately the actors' politics now comes into play. Back in the olden days, I don't think they would necessarily care. But now they maybe care.
Wow.
It's annoying.
That's a good word for it. Yep. Barkley, I don't know. Actually, Barkley's work on Project Pathfinder would be a good way to bring him in as well, since they're kind of using the proto-drive to go further. Maybe he has some theories to help them, do their thing. I'd like that. Matthew says we need a Trekyards flag. Somebody watching right now, design us a Trekyards flag. Barron, Ontario, agreed. Pink, orange, and purple alien kids are kind of hard for general adult audiences to relate to. You say that, but Star Trek has blue people, green people, and purple. We've seen purple people. Purple people eaters. We've seen... It's Star Trek. Have an open mind. I don't buy that it's hard for adults to... No. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you and I don't do certain things. We don't feel certain ways. But for me, I don't need a character in a show to relate to.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't need to see myself in the show to enjoy the show. I know that's been a giant thing in years past, like representation, but I don't need to see a me in the show in any way.
Because you see yourself in everything. That's the argument other people are going to make. You always seem like white men in everything, so of course you don't feel that way.
Okay, well...
Don't start down that road.
We make up a large portion of Europe.
Well, where?
It's a large percentage of the world. But, so them being aliens... would never turn me off as a concept. No. It seems odd to me. What was I know that there weren't successes, but is the reason that Star Wars Droids was not successful is because there was no human characters of the main two. That was only R2-D2 and C-3PO. You can't relate to them because they're droids who are different colors.
But the guy that was always with them was a human.
Oh, was there a human in that?
Yeah.
I was young when I saw it.
But my argument for that goes back to the Transformers movies. I don't need human characters in my Transformers movies. I would watch a Transformers movie completely on Cybertron with only robots. The game Fall of Cybertron is like that, and it's sequels, and they're amazing games. Great storytelling, cinematic feel. I would watch that. I don't need a human analog in a goddamn Transformers movie that spends half of the movie following this character to enjoy the movie. Big movie companies seem to think that you need that. So that's why there's always human characters in every Transformers series and every Transformers movie. And for the last one, Rise of the Beasts, the character was all right by the end, but at the same time, it was boring as hell to get to know him and his brother, and I don't care. Just stop. I'm more interested in what's going on with the giant kick-ass robots than the human that's like in a shock and awe to see them. I'm not in shock and awe to see Transformers. I've seen them since like 1984. Just saying.
Yeah.
Eric Martin, $5. Will Janeway visit Neelix on that asteroid, as they must be pretty close to them? Well, we mentioned that earlier. Yeah, Neelix coming back in would be a fantastic addition. Plus, he'd be great with the kids. A kid audience could definitely relate to Neelix. That's kind of his purpose on Voyager anyway. For the as far as the viewers of the show, I think the kids kind of related to Neelix. He was like the uncle that took care of them and kind of that kind of thing. So, yeah, I think it would be great.
Yeah, and Matthew points out that for nerds we don't care, but for mass audience you want people to relate to, which is fine. Prodigy is more aimed at a younger audience, but that's what the kids are there for, to relate to the kids who they want to get. They've done their job, right? And kids like colourful, interesting aliens. That's the demographic, and that's But it shouldn't put off a 30-year-old to see interesting aliens. Otherwise, it's sad for a lot of other shows. I can't imagine that's the main reason why most live action is because it's humans. It's 'cause it's cheaper, right? I would be fine to watch a show with 5 aliens and no humans.
Yeah.
Okay. But again, like I said, we're nerds. And we said the other day, you know, we followed this every week, every year, every day. We're super in the minimalist of the audience that they're looking at, because we are going to review it. We're going to look at it. We're going to dive in. You know, you've already got us either way. But as I said to Aaron, I said. I said to someone else. Is it? You know, how do you work out metrics for the show's success, in the sense of, so it was on Paramount Plus. If Paramount Plus is owned by the license by someone in a house, and they have 4 children, how do they know how many kids have been inspired by it? How do they know the metrics? They don't have metrics. They have one view. But that might have been 4 kids, both their parents, right? How can they possibly know the kid metric if it was a success or not? And they didn't release toys soon enough to know interest. Because, I mean, how many toys do you pre-order versus are on the store shelves you buy randomly, or your dad gets you for Christmas, right? How do you know the kid metric without the ability to track that? That's why even the Nielsen ratings were odd, because of course you buy, you know, one house has a box that represents 5,000 people, but clearly that's not a good metric. It's just a super summary, right?
Well, the Nielsen system, each house had a questionnaire, so you knew how many people were in the house and what people were watching, what shows at what time. Like, you had to fill that stuff out. So now it's just based on streaming numbers, and you're right. You don't know how many people are there watching it. You don't know. Yeah.
Maybe all 3 of the kids in the house love it. Well, that's and if the dad loves it, that's 4 people. But of course, that doesn't equate to money either way. You know.
Gastro 1980 throws in $5. Would love to see the EMH Mark 1, or with teaching a new version Mark 10.
Or Mark 4, I'd say at this point.
Yeah.
Not like I'd like to think not like iPhones. You need to make a new one every year.
Yeah.
You know, they're designed to last a while. Well, no, I guess the first one's designed to last like days because it's an emergency, and then yes.
Yeah.
And Baron, yes, but young kids, not young, like teens, does not disqualify. Adults don't dislike aliens who look fun. One does not disqualify the other.
Yeah. So for Dal to show up in a live action wouldn't be like, oh, he looks so weird. It's like, no, that wouldn't be the case.
Or in a similar vein, you know, 4 humans doesn't instantly. Kids certainly don't not like 4 humans, right? It's not a zero-sum game. Yes, it's more applicable, but they're in uniforms at some points. You know, they dress it super well and super cleverly, and they all had parts to play, and they were all interesting, and you know they subvert their expectations a bit. You know, Zero isn't the scientist; he's the medic. Okay.
Yeah.
And Rocktalk isn't the muscle; he's a scientist, and Gwen's the things, does things, stabs or pilots or Zero Pilots 2. Yeah.
He's a translator.
Yeah.
Eric Martin, I was inspired by those kids, and I'm old. I can testify that he is in fact old. So if he says he's inspired by those kids, I mean, hey. And go ahead.
Well, Matthew says, but 4 people watching with one subscription fee of $9 does not add up to a budget for a TV show. I agree, and equally, 1,000 households for $9 that are funding 50 shows. With those $9, the subscription doesn't fund the shows. Really, how can it? Well, I made $1. How, you know, what? Imagine if your household has 5 screens and they're all watching things. Now you're spreading out the fee to every show on the network. Each show made 20 cents for that month, right? I don't know how it works exactly, but it's a weird system by itself, right? It's a, you know, it's
that's like weird. YouTube Premium. Anybody that subscribes to YouTube Premium, that money gets doled out to creators. We get YouTube Premium money. Mm-hmm. It's mixed in with our Google AdSense.
All those pennies.
Yeah. But anyway, Stephen Fathry says, I need the stream to last another hour so I can listen on my drive home.
Ooh.
That's I mean, we usually do 2 hours. This is running a little thin because nobody's really contributing to this conversation. But we'll see what we can do, Stephen. Eric Martin, member for 8 months at the rank of captain.
Wow.
Says, if I was a kid, I'd definitely watch Prodigy on Saturday morning. So maybe they should try that on a network somewhere. Networks. I think there's a thing of the past as far as new shows go.
You know what's funny? If I was a kid, I wouldn't like Discovery. I just wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have enjoyed the first season. I wouldn't have, maybe the second season, but I wouldn't stick with it necessarily. It'd just be dumb. Season 3 would be too bleak. You know, it's like I did. You know, if I was actually like 9, I wouldn't have liked Enterprise season 3.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, Prodigy, Lower Decks, you know, a bit more crude, but you know, TOS is for all audiences. It's kind of magical that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Zachary Gibbons, wasn't Prodigy canceled? Yes, but season 2 is in post-production. It's almost finished, so it's going to be farmed out to another streaming service, and maybe with the option to make new seasons. So we will see it at some point, Zachary.
It's being finished. That's the point.
Yeah. Gestro, 1980. I'm an adult and I don't like disco.
Well, there's been 3 different versions of disco, so it's kind of hard to now, you know, say it in one breath. There's the shitty season Discovery, there's the Pike season Discovery, there's the future Discovery. 3 different shows of Discovery, which are all entirely different.
So they kind of went with their original pitch of having it be an anthology.
Well, it's like DS9, there's kind of 3 DS9s. There's the early Finding Their Footing, there's the post-Klingon, and there's the War Arc. Because they're all kind of chunks that are distinctly different, right? And then you've got 2 Voyagers, you've got Kest, you've got 7. They're different chunks. Enterprise, you've got 3 chunks, you've got early Finding Footing, Season 3, and Season 4.
Yeah. So
there's 3 chunks. TNG is just kind of like, not so good, better, best, okay. I mean, Beverly and Pulaski, but that's just more quality level. You know.
Same with DS9. I mean, the first couple seasons are a little bit rocky, and then we get the Dominion War, and it's like, oof.
Yeah.
Madman 22 says Star Trek always had a bad time trying to appeal to kids. Disagree. Again, as Samuel said, TOS is very family friendly, kid friendly. So is TNG. A lot of the fans right now that are here on this live stream, as well as all over the internet, grew up with TNG, watching it with their parents. It captivated them as kids to get them interested in the show and get them so fanatical and become these great fans that we have today. So I totally disagree with you that it had a bad time trying to appeal to kids. DS9 maybe a little bit more because darker story tones, but Voyager I think didn't have an issue with that either. I think you're wrong. So
I feel that's just personal anecdotalness. I mean, Trek has always appealed to kids.
Yeah.
You know, inspired. Doug was a kid.
Yep.
My dad was a kid. I was a kid. When I was inspired by Trek when I was a kid. You know, and as you said, all the kids that were kids when they watched it originally, like, if you were an adult for TOS, you were in your 80s. But most of that generation are in the 60s, 60s and 70s, because they were kids, / early teens. That's the generation making fan films that are pushing the TOS thing forward. Those are the kids of the time.
And our biggest demographic on this channel is ages 35 to 44. So those are people that grew up with like TNG being on their TVs at home.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I totally disagree with you on that.
And honestly, I would still choose to show TOS to my kids first.
Yeah.
Because it's not dumbing down for anybody. Now, something like too advanced for them, sure. Obviously, kid, I'm not like a 2-year-old, right? But, you know, when you show them the original first, show them the storytelling ability. Because if you show them Prodigy, they have to grow into TOS. If you show them TOS, then they're being forced to think. And if you can show them TOS first, the enhanced storytelling, the great characters, the great themes, the great lessons, which now of course feels a lot more, of course, racism, of course not, right? That's more obvious now, but
Yeah.
but is a lesson back then. Then you can show them other Treks because then you've set that groundwork. It's like if you show Lower Decks first, then A, they wouldn't get it in the same way because references, but also they would think Trek is silly. TOS is always a strong starting point for just storytelling. As my dad always says, it's now theatre more than TV.
It always was. Like, a lot of the titles are Shakespearean in their nature.
Sure, but the TV budget was a good TV budget then. Now it feels like a theatre budget because...
Yeah. Yeah.
But in that vein, I mean, you watch Shakespeare, you watch TOS, it's, you know, some episodes are very good in that way.
And Madman 22 says, "Oh yes, it's almost always family friendly, but when they actually try to attract a younger audience." I don't know what you mean by that specifically. If you mean Wesley showing up on TNG and being kind of trumped out, I mean, but it's still. I think Star Trek, there's something about it that just grabs kids in general. You don't have to appeal to them necessarily. And a lot of people say that Prodigy is that. It's a kid show that appeals to kids. Watch the goddamn show. Look at the storylines. They don't dumb the storylines down for kids at all. These are storylines I'd expect to see on any live, like Strange New Worlds next week. I would expect to see one of the storylines on Prodigy because they're so well done, and they don't. 3 + 3 is 6. They don't dumb it down. You know, they just present it. Sure, the kids aren't going to get all the nuances of it or the finer points of it necessarily, but they will when they're older. So. I see what you mean maybe with the Wesley analogy there, but that was like the one time they tried that, I guess.
Yeah, certainly with the Borg children in Voyager, I would consider that quite successful. They were just sort of there, and they had their good moments. They weren't, you know, they weren't over the top.
There were always kids around too. Jake Sisko, Nog. I mean, there's always a kid element to every Star Trek, except for TOS.
Although it's funny because Jake to me always resonates more teen first. I wouldn't call him a kid, but if you look at him from season 1, he looked very young. But of course, he went.
He's like 12, I think, when he started. So.
Yeah, and obviously Nog. It's hard. Nog kind of feels like an adult kid because it's like hard. The kids, but they're teens really, and obviously they grow into adults in the show. But of course, Naomi Wildman was a great kid in Voyager. I mean, literally from a baby and then suddenly walking around because, you know, quick growth. Yeah.
Patrick throws in 11 euros and says, "I can remember when I was a kid, I saw DS9 on TV and did not like it as it was stationary instead of a ship. As I got older, I started to love it. Prodigy and Lower Decks captured me much faster, even as an adult."
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, you know, do kids want to watch dark, dramatic, you know, religious themed with brutal terrorism? DS9 is not made for kids in any way.
Yeah.
It's not the Star Trek that you. That's why I always say Voyager and DS9 are two sides of a coin. One is the more mature, one is the more everyone friendly. Voyager is very openly nice. I mean, it's great. You know, you love the cast in a nice way.
This ain't your granddad Star Trek. Something different.
Yeah. But Chris, sorry, not a fan of TOS. Don't hate me. Why, Chris? Give us some why. You know, just why. You know, I'd like to know.
Wooga throws in $5. I'm excited to be vindicated that Murph has been Chakotay the whole time. Wow.
Mean, it'd be weird, but possible.
Yeah, it's not outside the realm of possibility at all.
Because
this has to be reconnected with his body. His mind got transferred into this blob, maybe.
Yeah, when he fired that one torpedo with his butt, like that was. I mean, that was a secret, you know, Varna self-destruct device, right? And they got rid of it, etc.
Zachary Gibbons, Worf's son Alexander on TNG. Oh, Worf is the worst father ever.
Yeah.
Dave Reels, Area 51, throws in $5.
There you go.
I wouldn't mind seeing some DS9 brought in. Star Trek has such an expansive universe, and I always think they should use it. Yeah, I mean, we saw DS9 in Lower Decks, which was amazing. We love that episode. Mm-hmm. Felt like just another episode of DS9.
Almost the detriment of Lower Decks.
Yeah.
Ironically, it was how successful they were.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, you know,
totally.
We did the very first DS9 upload Protostar DS9 visual. And I'd like to see more of that personally. I think it could be fun.
Absolutely.
With some caveats here and there and everywhere.
Yeah. Baron says the animation in the animated series was great. Kept true to the ship and design, and the characters looked like they were supposed to. I agree. I don't have a problem with the Filmation animation. I mean, sometimes where they cover their mouth so they don't have to move the lips to save a little bit of money, I don't have a problem with that. And the running's always great. It's the same company, Filmation, that did He-Man, and I think their mocap stuff is actually pretty interesting, like He-Man doing the run. It's hilarious because it's reused constantly, but I think it looks good.
Yeah, I've still only seen like a dozen or so of those episodes because of VHS tapes back in the day. I'm kind of waiting to do them with us because it'd be fun doing the show. And the one we reviewed was just so funny in many ways, but to cut back to the bridge and Uhura's, Uhura, you're on the planet. What are you doing? So saving money using a wrong establishing shot, like continuity broken because of budget. I love it. It's so trash, but I love it. Oh goodness. It's just it's so frustrating. This should be a 7 season. They should be well into planning the next season. They should be having fun. They should be developing. It is so frustrating. So frustrating.
And as you said, we don't want to lose somebody like Aaron Waltke to like a police procedural because he needs a job. He has a new baby. He has a family. He's got to take care of his bills. He can't just sit and wait until, when he's got this true love and passion for Star Trek. It's one of those things that just kind of kicks you in the nuts because if he can't come back for, to do any writing for another season, that'd be just such a shame. So.
Yeah, because the zeitgeist of the quality Prodigy is because of the team.
Yeah.
That's important, right? Yeah.
And yes, TGH, I agree. I love how Prodigy approaches nostalgia. Kids have no context, and yet Trek history is sprinkled perfectly. The references are clever and add to the story, but are so satisfying for older fans. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Uh-huh.
Not only that, but it's canon that's done correctly. There's no, you see TOS, it looks TOS. There's no changes. There's no updated to, Strange New Worlds visuals or anything like that. It's TOS. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's the same thing as, go back for a second, losing, Terry Metalis. As soon as he, I'm sure he's had offers to do other non-Trek things because he generated such a cultural zeitgeist. He's on the push that through. He's the one that, for good or for worse decisions, he's the one that got that in.
Yeah.
But they should have, lapped him up to make more. Moneymaker, instantly. But if he's on, 3 seasons of the other show, yes, okay, he's only in his, 40s. Come back in 10 years, fine, right, whatever. But, Yeah,
the frustration is real.
Because, we've had other shows be announced, the Academy show, and the excitement level is nothing. And they've got, some showrunners working hard, some writers working hard. I mean, they're all doing their job, getting paid, doing Star Trek, but, we're excited about Prodigy.
Speaking of, is the writer's strike still on?
Yeah.
It is. I haven't heard anything about it, so.
Well, that's the sad thing about it. No progress been made.
Oof.
Yeah. And there may or may not be an actor's strike as well, which is even more worrying. Because of course it's a snowball. If the writers can't write, they can't get new things in production. If they can't get new things in production, then they can't. They can't develop, and suddenly all the CG artists, all the gaffers, delays, and then everyone's losing out on money. The longer it goes, the worse it is for everybody. And there's a lot of people that work in film production, obviously.
Yeah. Well, Zachary Gibbons says, I honestly forgot about the Academy show. Me too.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The sad thing is, I would watch an Academy show with the Prodigy people.
Yes, yeah, the kids at the academy.
You know, San Francisco, maybe Naomi Wildman, Icheb, maybe all their academy are seniors.
Yeah.
You know, and there's the young people, and you get, you know, you know, Jamie does a semester of training at the academy as she did she did an Endgame. You know, she's a teacher in that as well.
Yeah.
Speaker anyway. Yeah.
Well, we're kind of winding down here, guys. Let's hit the like button if you haven't. Let's try to get to 80 likes. It's a big jump, but we can do it.
Yep.
And honestly, another 20 in super chats would be amazing. More than that would be even better. But if anybody can help us out, please do so. We want to hear your thoughts and have your discussion points on our lips.
And you guys had some great thoughts. Just we always like more.
Yeah.
But I'll close the poll. We did get 101 votes, which is fantastic. I asked when season 2 eventually does come out, because it will. What are you most excited to see? 52% say Voyager A. The ship lovers among us have spoken. With the spread of the next ones, 26% Chakotay finally getting his payoff. 15% legacy characters, and 7% the crew that we have introduced. There's not a bad thing about them, it's just Voyager A, kind of exciting. Because you know they're going to have interiors as well, it's going to be a whole plethora of things.
Yes. Baron says TMP era is something most of us can agree on. Yeah. I just want to... I would really love a Lost era show, but like as Samuel said many times, you gotta be careful because if they screw it up, then it's screwed up forever. So, Lower Decks, those old scientists. Yeah, that's like 2 episodes away. That'll be a fun one. That'll be a fun one to cover.
Yeah, it's funny that we're waiting for the highlight of the season, which seems a bit insulting, but also waiting for
I'm already not stoked about the next episode this week.
It could be great.
Could be. Anyway, new poll up. Have you bought the Prodigy Blu-rays to support the network and show? We want more Prodigy. Wow, telling numbers already.
Oh, guys.
Eric Martin says, I loved when Riker was shocked at how heavy the Batleth was.
God, what was it called? It wasn't a Batleth. Some weird...
Oh, yeah, his sword. Yeah,
some weird name.
Yeah.
Good name, though.
When is season 2 playing? Well, we don't know yet.
Yeah, I'd guess before Christmas. If I was the world, the universe, I would make it a holiday show. Boom, there you go for Christmas season, when families are at home with their kids, get them on Prodigy, give them the rest of the year to finish the season, because they're going to need it, because they want to make sure it's as polished as possible, because that's their selling point to next season, show over the New Year break, maybe do like 10 December, early December, 10 January, early, binge it over the holiday season, get people excited for New Year, come the New Year, boom, 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 and then you get numbers. And Tony, that was why I didn't get the Blu-ray as well.
Yeah. Don Ranger Power says season 3 of TNG introduced me to Star Trek when I was a toddler. The 2009 movie reboot was my reintroduction. Yeah. And let us know in the chat right now, do you still actively have Blu-rays and 4Ks? Meaning you will still buy releases. Lots of us have a collection still. Doesn't mean you collect new ones. What's your current physical media strategy, Stuart? What do you do? I definitely zone in on 3D movies. I like to collect those because they're harder to come by over here. But yeah, I do for series. I like to make sure that it's a complete season or series before I pick it up. So I don't like piecemealing it. But that being said, I'm gonna have to kind of do that now. So. I would just rather buy a complete box set of an entire series than try to pick up the seasons I'm missing or wait for the next one or whatever. So you're the example of Lower Decks cancelled. You'll finally buy the media after 7 years. It hasn't been 7 years. You know what I'm saying? Versus like every year showing metrics that
people
Yes.
care. So when it's too late, you'll show
And I
you
would have
care.
bought the first one. I would have bought the first one already if it wasn't only fucking 10 episodes. It's the first half of the season. It's not even a full season. That's why I initially didn't buy it.
That's why I didn't buy it. Yep.
If it was 20 episodes, I would have bought it already. Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard that a lot from people. Because, especially with things like Willow going off streaming and Prodigy as well, this has shown, one of the nice things about this is that it's creating a actual narrative that people are like, well, if whoever says F this, we're pulling this for this for whatever reason, and it's not on physical, you can't get it. Doesn't matter if you bought it, like the rights to the streaming, like, because if unless you buy it on the Amazon or the and then someone take that away as well, you're not paying for the right to watch everything monthly. You're paying for the right for them to show you what they want to show you, and they can take it away whenever you want. I'm really annoyed there's no Witcher Henry Cavill show on Blu-ray or 4K, because I would like it a lot. I think it'd be really nice. I'm very happy Lost in Space was released in Blu-ray.
Oh, was it? I didn't know that. That's one I want to pick up.
Not all of it. I think 2 was, but they never did 3 as far as I know. But certainly 1 was. I mean, I guess sales weren't that great, I guess. But I mean, it's still, right, it's still a way to have a season. And it's funny, I also agree in some respect having the multiple, like all-in-one batch Blu-ray. But I often find, mostly for film series, that the collection box art is significantly worse to me than the individual film art.
Oh, I agree with that 100%, yes.
So I ended up buying the Star Trek 4 movie collection as a box set because that's the only way they are offering it. But in retrospect, I would have got it as a single disc so I could have a nice display on my wall of all 13 in a nice, versus just here's a box. And so I bought the TNG one separately because I like that better. I like the art style. So I have an entirely mismatched collection, but I don't care about that per se. But I bought all the Star Warses individually because I liked having them in a nice line. And not just that, but in theory they have more special features because a box set might not include this special feature disc, etc.
Yep. No, when we're talking about movies, I buy them individually. I don't buy movie compilations usually. I have all of the Star Trek movies on DVD, like director's editions and stuff like that. But I also bought the Blu-ray set of them as well. So I have DVD and Blu-ray. I have TOS, all the 3 seasons in the original format on DVD, and I have the remastered Blu-rays, all 3 seasons as well. So I got like multiple copies of certain shows, but like upgraded each one, right? But yeah, movies I'll buy individually. I don't like buying them as a box set.
I feel like I'm not being ripped off, but the collector, the presentation for me is nicer separately, and it gives them each. Do I really want to have to pull out a box to get one disc out? Where I just pull the single cover and here's the. For me, I prefer that for sure. That said, and I know we both agree on this, the collector's edition of the VHSs, that was in that beautiful red maroon case box with a lovely, that VHS set with all the VHSs in the gold and the maroon is beautiful. That's like a box collector's edition, right?
Yeah.
But you still want them classically.
Yeah.
And for me, 4K is king, right? It's the best you're ever going to get it. You have some special features. They'll never be able to do 6K versions to any meaningful increase because when you scan further than 4K, you do get detail, but you get noise. That's what's in the other details. You have to even more noise reduce to get the 6K, but they're actually smoothing out the detail you're trying to get. So it's in ridiculously diminishing returns at beyond 4K to the point of it's not really meaningful, right? So 4K is it, and that's fantastic. So this is the definitive version of this film, etc. Especially when they often then go back in and fix a version like the Blu-rays, the Star Trek Blu-rays. They made them over sharpened and orange, and ruined some color grades. Like the Matrix, the Blu-rays they removed the green tint that was deliberate, because some color graders thought that everything was a bit too green, so they made it neutral again. And so some scenes that were designed to give you the feeling of it's in the Matrix, for one version, was a brown.
Yeah.
Because that in that version, the company whichever made the Matrix was just like, well, we are in this pipeline to get from from VHS to DVD. Let's release it. Didn't get the Wachowskis in to then actually supervise it, and so therefore their vision was lost in translation. Versus when you get someone James Cameron doing a 4K restoration a la Terminator 2, he can actually refine what may have been lost in the transfer between the cinema print to VHS to DVD to Blu-ray. Sometimes you can lose a little bit in the translation. Versus you can say, well, what was my master meant to be? And sort of refix it back in a little bit. So for me, that the 4K is often the definitive, and I'm very happy that Star Trek finally got the 4Ks, because that is it was astounding how long that took, given their tentpole things. But I mean, hey, gorgeous, right?
Yeah. Patrick throws in €6. I still have the box sets of TOS, TNG, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise, Stargate, SG-1, Atlantis, and BSG, have ripped them for Plex use, and therefore no Blu-ray player anymore. Yeah, I prefer, honestly, for old TV shows and stuff, even though I might have the series, to watch it on a streaming service, because it automatically picks up from where I left off. I don't have to look for the disc, and sometimes there's multiple ones on a disc. You've got to remember where you are. But yeah, I've got the original Battlestar Galactica and Blu-ray now and stuff like that.
Speaking of 4K, bloody BSG Classic 4K release. The original movie, released in 4K, yeah.
Oh, just the movie, yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't think it'd be good enough budget to have good enough cameras to be a good 4K.
Oh, yeah, they used real cameras back then. Film.
Doesn't mean it was a high enough budget to make it look good, though. There's a lot of film back then. Now I'm really interested to see how Galactic looks on 4K. Because I know they reuse a lot of stock shots from the movie into the show, so I was gonna get it, but for me I don't like tin versions. I find them
the steel box.
Yeah, it's just I just no.
They don't display well as bookend.
Yeah, and it stands out so radically against everything else. Just give me some. Wait for the normal edition before I buy that, because I'm absolutely gonna get that, because I'd love to watch that properly for the first time. I've only seen that in SD TV. Never seen it in HD, let alone bloody 4K. But Zachary does say with streaming services you can now watch old TV shows instead of Blu-rays and DVDs. Obviously streaming is easier and more convenient, right? I'm not saying I'm gonna walk in and put a Blu-ray in for everything. For TNG, I was doing Blu-rays because that's the best quality, and I'd rather watch it fully and whatever. I mean,
but with Prodigy, they can just flick a switch and it's gone one day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but as a collector, right? If we enjoy something, for me, it's all about special features as well.
Me too. I love behind-the-scenes stuff on movies, and that's what I like to watch. Sylvia doesn't like to watch that stuff quite as much, so I usually watch this by myself. Mm-hmm. But I love seeing the making of stuff. So
yeah, where's the option on Netflix to watch the DVD commentary? There isn't. And I got a movie. Well, actually, yeah, this is a different example, but right here, shocking to me, I finally bought a DVD for the first time in a decade and a half. Titan AE on DVD.
I love that movie. I've got that on DVD.
Yeah, because it was never made on Blu-ray, which is shocking given it's Matt Damon and Drew Barrymore.
It's gonna be the next Star Wars, don't you know? That's what it was billed as when it first came out.
Sure. I'm shocked this isn't in Blu-ray, because this is very good animation, good story. Not the best, but good story, great acting, legendary cast. It's still just on DVD, and I didn't know it was whatever. And obviously, this actually includes a lot of special features, a substantial amount. They actually genuinely packed this full of stuff. So, I'll buy a DVD because I want to. And this is they haven't made these in 20 years, so this is like a collector's piece. Because not only do I want to watch the film, because I can watch the film in HD on a streaming service, right? That's actually a better way of watching it. But to actually have all the other features, this is the only way you'll ever get it unless they make a new version. And I hope they do. I'm shocked they haven't made a Blu-ray of that. It's crazy. Because those art designs are great in that film. I kind of want to I kind of want to get the ship built, the main one, because it's I love the flowingness of it. Yeah, just some really nice stuff in that one.
Yeah, it's a long time since I've seen that. But
yeah, Matt Damon just before he was famous. Matt Damon and Drew Barrymore, famous for more than that.
Baron says I watch every hour of bonus content, the director's tracks, everything. All of that is missing from streaming. Yeah.
It's
Yes,
just, you know,
sir.
I mean, isn't there something also rather... I mean, Blu-rays don't take much space. They're a very small medium, really. Isn't it just nice to have a shelf filled with all of your favourite things that, you know, nowadays, like when Netflix was the only thing, there was a vibe of, I'll just check Netflix and I'll be on there, right? That was the vibe. Now it's like, which streaming service is this movie on? Roku Plus. But I can only buy that with an Apple TV subscription, but I watch one goddamn movie.
Yep.
Oh, look, it's in this. Here it is. And it looks better than the streaming service. Bonk. Like, it. You know, obviously we both collect stuff, but for me, a Blu-ray shelf seems the most obvious thing to collect ever. Everyone loves movies. That's the best way you're ever going to see them. They're not expensive, right? Blu-rays are cheap. They used to be like £30, so 50, 60 bucks. Even 4Ks are £20, so it's like 30 Canadian for a new one. That's a fine price. That's cheaper than Blu-rays were when they started. Because they realised they can't actually charge that much, right? Great price point. And you always find, you know, in England, you know, 2 for £25, £5 off, or 3 for £30. You add £10 each, right? You know, it's great.
Eric's like, I'm shopping for Prime Day and watching you guys. LOL. Order Prodigy on
Yes,
Blu-ray.
please do, guys. Seriously, please
According
do.
to our poll, 87% have not got it on Blu-ray.
Because I'm...
That shows a fair amount that it's not profitable. Nobody wants it.
Because not to sound selfish, guys. But...
This'll be a...
Yeah, I know, right? Nice. If you help the world get more Prodigy, we can do more Prodigy content, which means you get more Trekyards.
Oh, we all want that.
I'm just saying. You know what I mean, Stuart? You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah, and we want more. We'll want more Trekyards. Yes, we do. I do because I live off it. But you do because it's fun. But guys, last super chat slot, throw it in there.
Yes.
Ends out with a win.
At least 10 would be awesome. Engraved Ring of Healing says, I only watch my Star Trek on data crystals. There you go.
I think I'd buy a Stranger Worlds floppy data. They're good. That's a good design. Yeah, I'll probably get one of those if someone offered them as a fan replica. Yeah.
No, it says I can't own physical media anymore. I don't have the space or the money, and streaming is more convenient. Yep, but what if they go, oh, Prodigy? Boop. You can't watch that anymore. Oh, wait a minute. They did do that.
I mean, you say that, but it's one of those things that if you've been physical mediaing since physical media, you'd already have it all. There'd be no costing, right? Like, I've got all my collection. I don't buy any. Like, I'm only buying new stuff, so the money's already been spent, and I have it forever.
Problem is having to move it from house to house. Like, hey, I used to have a lot of VHS. I had a massive VHS collection.
Yes.
Moving those was a bitch. Eventually, I still have a bunch of, like, 2 big boxes of VHSs that I just don't want to get rid of.
Yeah.
But
I'll come back in style at some point.
Well, some of them are worth money now, actually. Like my original Star Wars. I got like a couple versions of Star Wars on VHS.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I got
widescreen for the first time.
Widescreen, the remastered, the originals with like the fold-out box, and then another set as well. Like so I do buy the same thing a few times, but.
Oh, sorry, Hypno. Baron, people always room for books, and discs don't take up much space. Yeah, I mean, one Blu-ray is 2 Blu-rays for every book. You know, I'm super excited to have an actual shelf and to, because I've been collecting for 5 years now, 6 years now. That is what I do for all of my relations. I say Blu-rays because Blu-rays are between £7 to £25 each. They can choose what they get me. I give each person a unique list of 4 to 6 things, so I get a surprise, but still within my list. everyone has a theme every year. They're always releasing new 4Ks, or I go further into the weird, obscure Blu-rays I don't have normally. My collection grows by normally sort of 7 to 10 per birthday or Christmas. Birthday or Christmas, because I give my grandma, several £4 Blu-rays. That easy, right?
Well, in that case, I'll just keep this for myself then.
Oh. But I was so excited. And... you don't want to. I mean, you don't want to keep that, really.
I do. I changed Venom with Samuel, and this week gift to you, or to myself from me and Rick. I didn't get you a Blu-ray. I give people a list of things. It's very thoughtful.
Hit Amber, but companies should recognise that no one buys DVDs anymore, so what other ways do they track a show's success? Probably completion rates and rewatch. Well, if people didn't buy Blu-rays, they wouldn't stop making them. And 4Ks are a really solid business. There's new 4Ks every year. Every film movie's getting done in, the Star Wars is in 4K. They would not have released the Star Trek movies in 4K unless they were profitable, because most people haven't got streaming 4K. And they won't for years. It's future-proofing, sure, but the sales of the Blu-ray more than made up for it, right? Because they, yes, I think physical media actually went up because of the 4Ks, right? That helped, because it's everyone has to recollect all their favorite movies again.
That's how you buy a Blu-ray, though. It's got the Blu-ray, you buy a 4K.
Yep.
Got the 4K, Blu-ray, sometimes the 3D version, and a digital code as well.
Well, because normally it's the remastered 4K version on a Blu-ray. It's not the original version. So that's what all the TNG movies are. It's the improved version now on the Blu-ray, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But you're right, exactly. You get both for the price of one. For 20 quid, you get both versions. Perfect.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason we didn't get Stargate movies. Because the Blu-ray market fell apart. If it had been 4 years earlier, the market was booming. Would have been fine. Would have been easy. Would have covered the budget, not a problem. Very annoying.
Yeah.
Very annoying.
Alrighty. So anyway, we're hoping that a good streaming service picks it up, and hopefully we'll have an option to create more seasons of it. And there's lots we'd like to see. Let's end this poll, by the way. This is so sad. Have you bought the Prodigy Blu-rays to support the network and show what we want more Prodigy? 86% say no. Yeah.
I mean, you can just buy them and gift them to a friend, right?
That's a good point. But yeah. Gotta be careful.
Well, Patrick, just
gifted Star Trek things all the time, and chances are I already have it. So
yeah. And Patrick, if you can't, import whatever, just get one of the American Trekyards people in the community maybe to buy it, and then send it to you a little, resend it to you, and then just put $5 and then no import. But I don't know why would you get import taxes for like a £14 disc? It seems like that'd be isn't there a ceiling or a certain amount to go over equals import? Because otherwise, you buy a £2 thing imported. Wow, I can't get it unless I pay 27 cents in import. It seems odd to me. And I remember this funny joke in the physical media community that I'll end off on about the buying Picard. It's like season 1, season 2, season 3 disc. People don't want to buy the box set of Picard because they just want the season 3.
But that box set, there's a big one. It's like $200. Comes with all the badges he wears during the course of all Patrick Stewart's
except
Picard. It comes with TNG seasons 1 through 7. Comes with Picard seasons 1, 2, and 3. Comes with, I don't know if it comes with any of the movies.
Yeah, it comes with all the movies.
Yeah. So
it's the most repackaged package I've seen for a while.
Yeah, all because people want Picard season 3. They know what the people want, and they're gonna make some money on it. God damn it.
I don't think that'll sell well though, personally. I think they need other stuff in that to make it cool. Like I have all the comm badges. Right?
I've considered getting it, so
yeah, someone has all the comm badges. Not quite the same sort of excitement. because I've already got everything.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Anyway, I guess we'll close out there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you guys for watching, and
Thanks so
have
much.
yourselves a great day or evening or whatever. And we'll
Mhm.
see you next time, whenever that may be. Maybe tomorrow.
And then Trekyards on Sunday, my birthday.
Yes.
That is going to be a mess, I hope. I'm primed. I'm mentally primed. Gonna be exciting. Yeah.
So on that note, till next time, he is Commander Calkins.
Oh, Patrick, it's region free. It's fine. Prodigy. And he is Captain Foley.
And we are both region free. So until
We're
next
region
time.
locked to love for you guys.
That's right.
Bye, guys.